Okay. Hey guys, it's Sein Kim. I'm just watching this video by Kiana from Kianavison. Nice lady. There was some explicit language, but always on topic. If you want like some advice on life and such, you can follow her. Link to her channel is right in the description. So, anyways, what I want to talk about is the misjudgment of people accusing me of being racist, and that I have a thing against black people. Well, I do not. So, let's start off. So, before I even talk about Korean TV programs, I'm going to mention it later. So I have been friends with a whole bunch of mix of people from different countries, races, genders. They were always nice to me. So whether they were white, black, Asian, or spoke a different language, they were always nice. Or I think it was Brazilian, maybe. I might getting this wrong, but I think the guy was because there was a guy named Jose that I sort of knew when I was in 9th grade, and I was pretty popular with the 12th graders, and he was an exchange student. I think he was from Brazil, probably. Well, South America, I guess. And some girl I knew, I was walking home in the pouring rain, and she saw me, and decided to give me a ride instead. And Jose was in a car. And I really got to talk to both of them, and it was a nice knowing people. Although I haven't been in contact with both of them in a long time. So there have been some black people I know, or people of different skin color, dark skin color. I'm going to talk about Zoe. Won't mention her last name for privacy reasons, but she was like a nice girl. She was nice to everybody. She always, whenever you were talking to her, she would always like brighten up the mood. And she was black. I knew her since junior kindergarten till grade 6, until I switched public school and when I went to middle school, because I hated going to church every month, and I was basically not like a believer of God, and I'm sort of an atheist, but if you do believe in God, I won't hold it against you. But if you do believe in God, you should be accepted for that. And the last time I ever saw her was when I was when I was visiting CCI, another school in the area. I am, and sort of like a competition. in sports and a whole bunch of other stuff. So I would like just like doing like a certain thing for like a certain event I was visiting. I was looking for the washroom, and then I ended up. She was like, and Zoe, she was like helping run one of the Relay for Life things, life event at the school, and yeah, we said hi, and yeah, that was the last, and that was the last time I ever saw her. I'm quite sure she's attending a good university or college right now of her choosing. Oh, the second person I want to talk about is a man named Emerson, middle-aged man. He has like a grown-up daughter, and so he was originally from some country in Central America. So like basically, if you had made a lot of money in there, like yeah, you would basically be rich. But you converted it to Canadian money, you would be like an average. Now, Emerson, he was like a nice guy. I think he ended up eye surgery or something. I don't know. That he was always being positive. He'd like to joke around, but never go too far. He always played the same lotto tickets. And yeah, it was always nice to meet my parents. And it's basically anyone he knew. And he left sometime early 2020. So he's probably back in Central America, being rich, living a good life. Well, as Kian has mentioned, that would have been like a campaign from people are saying Black trans lives matter over Black lives matter, and I think it's sort of exclusive because there are many different races that marry people of another race. So like a Canadian man could marry someone from, someone who is Indonesian. So and then if they had a kid, the kid would be both white, would have he would be like sort of like half white, half Asian, but depending on whoever's the parent's last name, yeah, will be based on depending on who the father is. So if a black, so I have seen, so talking to the Korean TV show. So there's like a Korean news TV show where they interview like a whole bunch of like random people who are in Korea, and sometimes there was this there was a man who married a Korean woman, and they had kids. The black man was from USA, I believe. So, and they had kids, and eldest was I think it was the son, and then there was they had like two daughters or another son, or I don't know. They had like three kids at least, I think, and the other two they were fluent in English and they did not speak Korean, but the eldest he was the only one who could speak Korean, and he could not speak English. So that's yeah. So if they're like a black Korean, I support them. Not because they're part Asian. Yeah. But especially with what happened with the coronavirus, I'm quite sure it might be like a tough thing to deal with. Especially with people like, if you don't speak English, we don't like you. Some people are like that in the world right now. Or a European person could marry like a person from USA, or like maybe South America, or maybe even Africa, and so there's a whole bunch of mix of people who are part white, black, Asian, Mexican, Australian, European. So it's really hard to trying to categorize people. And this is why I sometimes I talk about it, because sometimes so there's a Latin. I'm quite sure this was on the news. Latino young woman. She was shopping at a gas station, and yeah, well, some older white woman told her to go back to Mexico. Although her parents immigrated from Mexico to USA, and she was born in USA, so people should not be labeling people like that. Because if people have a different mixes of family, and say the dad's maybe from Finland and mom is from Switzerland, and they are living currently in Canada. I'm what's your heritage? I would obviously ask, hey, what's your heritage? And Finnish and Scotland and Swiss, and cool, and I would want to know more. But if someone says something go back to where you came from, that is just racist. If a white person ever said that, or a person whose ancestors sort of colonized the country, and they are living here, then so the person who they said it to like has every single right to, yeah. But there should be no like physical abuse or anything. No, the problem with Black Lives Matter, especially like that, also, so if which leads to Black Lives Matter, if you like literally say that to a black person whose parents have lived in another country full of maybe sort of, for example, Asian people, because that's pretty common lately. So, walk down the streets of South Korea, you'll see at least one black person every hour. But if they're living their lives perfectly fine, you don't have to say that because yeah, they never like went through racism, and if so, and I don't think the people who said it to me have really understood that. Yeah, I have been through racism, and it's not easy when you're an immigrant from another country and you don't have a citizenship, but you are only on like a permanent residence, and technically that allows you to live here and not get deported. So you're not like illegal person, unlike people trying to sneak through like from the U.S. Mexico border over in the USA. And though even though like I have argued with people who are like keep saying, yeah, so yeah, my parents were from my grandparents were from Europe, so like yeah, though I'm sort of part British, so I don't have so I. So why you have a problem with being getting compared to being a Chinese? And yeah, people the thing is, if you're white, the thing is, yeah, if you're black, you that means like your ancestors were literally dragged from Africa. Well, actually, everyone was originated from Africa. If you don't know your history lessons. And basically everyone who was white is from Europe, and anyone who's not white or black, basically from Asia, excluding the natives, because they were originally lived there. I'm just depressed right now because of what people have said, and I think I was talking about it, and so if you're like literally going to like categorize like a certain race, like like a certain like a gender in a certain race is more important than the full race, then you got a problem. Because all lives do matter, and just because you're like maybe like male, female, or transgender, like just because you're like transgender or some or LGBT, like that doesn't make you more special than anyone else, because you're just a living human being, and basically same body cells as basically everyone else. You bleed the same color of blood. Yeah. So I'm not saying that I am being racist. I have not been. Sure, other races have been like sort of been judgmental to others because they speak another language, the beliefs are different, the skin color is different. And these are like the people who only want people to follow a certain custom and not the. It's like these people can't even like live their customs at home. Not that you have to, but yeah. The Black History Month, that's a thing. LGBT month, that's a thing, and they're like celebrating like a woman. That's a thing. But it's not. It doesn't always matter about like what the certain race has suffered through, because we have not have suffered through like many different things. Black people, segregation, and slavery, and that I understand. Asians, it's basically like the Japanese Empire attacking the others, East Coast Asians, and also Australians. Don't forget that. And many and also what happened in Africa due to like Europeans trying to colonize it. And please do not forget about the natives. The Europeans who came over and basically like killed like almost like a quarter a large number of natives, just because they thought they were Indians and savages, when they're not. And then white people are also being a victim for being accused for white supremacy, and so some things have been apologize, and then people have been actually apologized, and said yes, we made a mistake. But we need to like stop attacking other races for like just because like one thing that doesn't have to do with race, but what like say something that happened in a certain continent, and just because like they're an immigrant from that certain continent. Yes, I'm talking about coronavirus. So I'm talking. So there was a tweet from Korean American actor Daniel Day Kim, and he had the coronavirus, and he had said that the coronavirus does not care what your race is or gender is or what your religion is or where you came from. So if you're not careful, it's going to like come for basically everyone. If you're not going to be like be safe, you know. That's why I've been talking about like all this hate against Asians more often than I have than about blacks. But that does not mean I am ignoring black people. It's just the bad people who just on social media and some bad people from Black Lives Matter who make all lives matter look like a bad cause when it is not. Stop letting social media brainwash you. Use the 3 hashtags, all 4 I guess. I have provided right down below. Equality for all. United we stand. End racism. End coronavirus. That basically stands for everyone. And basically anyone who is like trying to like fight off coronavirus still. It's not gone yet.